Matt Gibbons has been catching up with Portsmouth's Tash Hills, and he started by asking her about her sound.
I love all types of music. I do nothing but listen to music, really. So, a massive influence in my life has been listening to my dad's record collection. I can remember from being a really small girl and him having his record player, listening to Earth, Wind and Fire and Quincy Jones and George Benson and Shaka Khan, Stevie and all those greats.
Yeah, I saw that on your Spotify about your dad's record collection. I found that really interesting. A lot of huge names there and just quite an old school sound. And I didn't know what to expect when I first listened to your music, but you've added such a modern twist to it. You've still kept that integrity of soul music, don't get me wrong, but there is an element of a modern sound. And I just wonder how you go about doing that.
Yeah, it's kind of like whatever happens. There will always be the nucleus of the soul and the funk and the groove. But working with the people that I'm working with at the moment, they bring that out. My partner, Ash, and the producer, George Holliday.
Yeah, and I wanted to talk about George, the producer. It sounds really exciting. How did this professional music relationship start with George?
So he was on Facebook, like we do when you're just scrolling through and you stumble across someone. And he was running like a competition to win like a session with him, and this was about 4 years ago. Yeah, and I ended up friending him on Facebook, and then we just kind of kept in touch. And it just seemed that when we started chatting again at the beginning of this year, it was just the time was right. Over the last few years, he's evolved the Made on the Road team and what he does in his amazing bus where he makes this music, and yeah, he's absolutely crafted his art.
So he's a mobile producer in a way.
Well, he has his bus and he's kind of based in the Brighton area, and obviously pre-lockdown the setup would have been that people go and see him, but when we started working with each other we were in lockdown, so we've done everything remotely. My partner Ash and I bought a load of studio equipment and he has recorded everything. So he's recorded all my vocals, the brass, the first breath we did in the front room. He's added guitar and other bits and pieces, and then we send it backwards and forth to George, and he does his stuff in the bus. We start with version 1, and then I think by the time Stepping On Out was done, it was like version 15. I think First Breath was like version 16, and we're currently working on the third track. We're only up to number 4, so we've got a long way to go with that.
We played Stepping On Out, which I love as the debut single. That was only released in August, and this track, obviously this month. You're relatively new to the music industry as Tash Hills, and it's a really exciting time, but I suppose the difficulty is, and this is just how I listen to your music, it feels like it needs to be performed, and I bet for you it must be difficult that you can't hit the stage and perform these beautiful songs.
I have these dreams and these visions, like where bits of my song kick in and I just feel the energy in myself and being on stage and seeing the people in front of me. And I just want to have a big party. I just, when this is all over and done with, I can't wait to get people dancing, because people are really missing that right now.
As soon as that's announced, I will be there. I promise you that. Now, lastly, I just want to ask about what can we expect for the rest of this year from Tash Hills?
We're going to take it down a little bit, but don't be scared. It's not a slow song.
Okay.
It's just a little bit different. Still going to be tapping your feet. And then the last single is going to be big. I'm absolutely going for it. I want a swing section, the house beats and dance beats, but they've got, big brass sections and they've got strings.
You've got me excited. You've got everyone excited. Now, the last thing I would love you to do is to introduce the track that we played last week, and we're going to play it again.
Thank you so much, everyone, for all your love and support so far. This is First Breath, and my name's Tash Hills.
Baby, and when we inspire and we breathe in sync, you know what you do, you're the only one, and yes I am thinking about you. I don't doubt that you're the only man, that I need everything that you can give me. Yes, you can be my desire, and I'm waiting for you, yeah. You said so, and you
Tash Hills and First Breath playing on BBC Introducing Solent. Big thank you to Matt Gibbons catching up with Tash, and I was having a chat with Matt. How impressive is that sound? I mean, Tash's voice, obviously, wow, but also the horn section is really cool, and that's all been recorded in their front room. And then there's George, the producer, that's involved as well. Tash sounds like a great character, so if you missed the chat Matt had with Tash, you can catch up afterwards on BBC Sounds. New stuff from Beth